My question is, why are the gopis teasing Radha?
Thank you so much, Arya, for your question and for everyone being able to just join today and spend your Saturday with us and celebrate Holi. And just it makes my heart so happy. So thank you all for being here. Arya, your question was, why are the gopis teasing Radha? So my takeaway from this is that the gopis are teasing Radha because they really want to spend time with her. They want to be friends with her. They obviously love her. And I think what I learned from this was that Radha also wanted to bring her friends together. The gopis felt that Radha was spending a lot of time with Krishna, and they wanted to be able to spend time with her too. And so I think what we learned from Radha is that she was able to bring all her friends together, and so everyone could play and not feel excluded, which was really nice. So I have a few questions. Specifically, this one was for Arya and Shagun, but if anyone else would like to chime in, please feel free to do so. So I just wanted to gather, as we're talking about the puppet show, what did you think the main takeaway, the main point from the show was? Go for it, Arya.
The show was about Radha and her friends, but they were teasing Krishna, but Krishna wanted them to be together and play.
Yeah, definitely. Shagun, did you have any thoughts?
I thought there was a moral to this story, which was that it doesn't matter what you look like, what your skin color is. In friendship, it just matters. All that matters is the friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
When my friends tease you for your color, Krishna, but I know they secretly like you too. I just wish that we could all play together every single day. I wish there was a game that girls or boys, young or old, friends.
When we make friends, why do you think it is that some people exclude others from either playing with them or doing an activity together? If you've seen it, why do you think that's happened? And what do you think you can do to change that?
Well, I think that some people might not want to be like friends with other people because of some type of certain prejudice or bias that they might have been raised up with or taught.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else have any thoughts or have an example of something they may have seen in school?
I can share a bit. I think that a lot of the times, and I'm sure we've all noticed this growing up, going through school, we tend to exclude people who might not look like us. And I think that kind of brings up the point that we've been talking about, that people who look like us have very similar experiences to us, or we can at least assume that they do. So if you are approaching a group and there's two groups and you have one group that looks a couple people who look like you and one group of people who don't look like you, I would say that we're more inclined to go to the group of people who look like us, because then we can assume that they first have the shared experience of being perceived by others the same way. So others will see us and kind of ask us the same questions. And so there's a bit of commonality and bonding through that. And then I think we can also, when we see other people who look like us, we can also bond over the shared cultural experience. We can assume that those people have some sort of aspect of how their lives have been similar to us, whether it's same religion, same holidays, parents might come from the same country, and you can bond over that. And all of those just might be easier than approaching a group that doesn't look like you, because you can't really, there's not that same perception or those same cultural experiences. And so it can be more uncomfortable. And so I would say that we often exclude other people before they exclude us for fear of being in that uncomfortable position and trying to avoid that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fear of the uncomfortable conversations almost, and all the questions and how to even answer them. And I think that's a really key point in I think it's a two-way street, especially when you have, your community or your friends that have a shared similar background that might be South Asian, that understand, is that being open to answer questions. And that's a two-way street, is that if someone asks you a question, being open enough to take it in a positive way. And then also they should also be able to answer questions about their community and their culture as well. So having more of an open dialogue rather than fearing, oh my goodness, am I going to offend someone, or is this wrong of me to ask? I think that's how we can learn, is kind of changing our perception of just even asking the question. Tejas or Sonali, do you have any thoughts, maybe just overall, about kind of the puppet show, or maybe some experiences that you've had or seen just in terms of identity or friendships?
I would love to share. I was thinking about what Raul said, like the things you introduced. So I think that what you said, Raul, the fear of having to tell other people about your culture, like telling other people your stories, is definitely a pretty large barrier. I actually remember, like you were saying, whenever my mother would come pick me up from school, when I was very young, she always wore a putta or bindi, and I was always asked what it was. I never wanted to answer. I actually, not only, at one point, I didn't even know what it was, and I had to ask her, like, why do you wear that? Like, why are people asking you so much about that? And she told me about the meaning, and that it's meant to represent the third eye of the consciousness, being open. And it was such a beautiful message. And I think that was really one of the turning points that made me realize that my culture has so many beautiful intricacies. Why shouldn't I explain it to everybody? And I think that getting over that fear, it's a valid fear, because it happens at such a young age. You have like the first things you notice about other people are, how are they different from me? Like, what makes them not like me sometimes when you're very young? So it's natural to have these questions, but it's also hard to answer them if you don't know all the answers. You're just trying to figure things out for yourself. So that's what I was thinking in terms of the
most thing, which is so much easier said than done. I know it is knowing who you are and being yourself. And that certainly comes with time. But I think with conversations like these, surrounding yourself with the right people, the right friends and peers and family, of course, is really important. But I think, this is, as we're coming up on the last question, one of the things that really helped me is, rather than feeling less than when you hear a comment, or, better than, or feeling left out, was something that I experienced when I was in 6th grade. And this is something that I've carried with me forward, and I'm well on past my 20s. So for almost over 20 years, I've held on to this, or I've just kept it in the back of my mind, I should say. And in 6th grade, there was a young boy, and he said to everyone, "Oh my goodness, Nina Davalori has a bigger mustache than my dad." And it was kind of true at the time, but it didn't make it any less hurtful. And this person who said this one comment can go on to become the next CEO of a company, and the next senator, even the president of the United States. And I will forever remember him for that one comment. And so we are the people ourselves. We have the opportunity and choice of how we want to impact others. And we can make that choice every day to use our voices to impact in a positive way. And so I hope that's what people are able to continue to do. And that's what I've been, when people see differences, are able to use that in a positive way and use their voices to educate.